This is Isaiah Cassidy. I'm Mark Quinn with Private Party.
And you're listening to the All Elite Podcast.
Yo, you're listening to All Elite Podcast. Boom. And it is the worst podcast ever. We live! Ow!
Hi, this is Brandon Cutler, and you are listening to the All Elite Podcast.
This is the All Elite Podcast, which happens to be the worst podcast I've ever been on. SCU!
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get anywhere, let's just take a brief moment here to make sure you guys are aware this podcast is sponsored by the candidate MJF, who is running for AEW World Champion. Hashtag MJF 2020. So welcome, guys, to the All Elite Podcast, your source for all AEW coverage and more, right here on the No Holds Barred Network, which is your number one source for wrestling podcast coverage and more. I am your host, as always, your self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, always joined by my co-host. She is the EVP Giggles, the Heartbreak Chick, the Queen of the Indies, and the Queen of always being stressed out lately. That is Tiffany. What's going on, Tiff?
I'm dead. That was like really loud at first. I had to lower my mic.
Oh, God.
Damn,
I'm sorry.
I wasn't ready. Wait, let me take another sip of coffee. Hold on a second. I'm not ready for this episode.
Wait, you got yourself some iced coffee there?
Some iced coffee.
Iced
I put
coffee,
chocolate syrup in it too to make it like a mocha
Ooh.
thing going on. I don't know. Maybe
Look
I'm trying
at you go.
I'm trying to be the next Matt Jackson or something. Like
You have your own Starbucks shop up there on the
Yeah.
deck.
I'm gonna need a shirt, like that says I don't know. But yeah, I swear I've been adding the I'm your stressed out host as always.
I've noticed in your other shows on the network.
I've been really stressed out. So thank you guys. I'm so sorry with a lot of the testing that I've been doing for like Under the Ropes and Wrestle Forum because I've been having so many issues because me and Kyle runs the All Elite Podcast, and I run all the other all the other shows on the network as well. So when you see the alerts, I'm sorry. Like I just been having a lot of problems down here.
See, I was so confused yesterday because I'm like, oh, so she's starting the episode early, but you were in a test, so I decided to mess with you. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I think it was even funnier because like Kyle's actually like messaging me like on my phone, and it's like he's not in the chat, but he's listening, but he's messaging me on the phone. And it's just like, okay. So, yeah. But I don't know. But thank you guys. I'm so sorry about all that stuff. But I think we're good.
I think
at least
whatever.
I mean, for now, so I'm not as stressed out.
Comes hand in hand with live streaming. You live streamers out there listening, you guys know the deal. And even now, in a time where we're just all generally a little bit more stressed out, especially with things that are going in the world. But you know what? We make it work. I think we do a pretty good job at recovering and being able to record offline and pumping the episodes out to people like right away. So I think we do a good job. I think we put on a good effort. I think people appreciate it.
Yes, and if there's things you want me and Kyle to do, let us know because we want to make you guys happy as well. So if there's something you want to see or you think we should add or think we should add to AEP, we're always down for your suggestions. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
always open to that.
It's tough.
But-
Sometimes like some days my brain's going and like I'm sitting on the computer here and I'm going all day and my creative juices are flowing. And some days I'm like sitting here for like 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Just scrap the day, go do something else.
No.
But
it's rough.
yeah, it's been an interesting time during this whole era, and it's been an interesting week in AEW this week, especially with all three shows being Elite, Dark, and Dynamite. Guys, if you're new to the podcast, where myself and Tiff keep you guys up to date with everything going on in the AEW world, we give you guys brief recaps of all three shows, the two YouTube shows, and the Dynamite one on TNT, and we keep you guys up to date with news and rumors, so we actually have a couple of news stories today. Believe it or not, we haven't had news on here in a while, which we'll get into. Actually, you know what? We'll get off the bat, off our chest right now. Number one, Cody Rhodes actually provides us with an update of when the final design for the TNT Championship is coming. Someone on Twitter by the name of William Soundias tweeted at him, when will the title design be finished? He says August 12th. Saw a
Right
nice
before my
video of the
birthday.
plates, he says. Very elegant.
Right before my birthday. So is that like a birthday present for me? So does that mean that he
I
has
guess.
a special Anthony Gangone for me?
Does he got to like put
Round
a
two?
picture? Does he got to put your picture of your face next to the title belt on Twitter, like a reveal? I don't know. But August 12th, folks, if you guys want to know, we are getting that title belt. And if I'm looking at my calendar, it's not next week's Dynamite, but the Dynamite after. So August 12th Dynamite is when it'll debut. Because he will not be having a title defense next week because he's in a tag team match, which we'll get into.
Yes.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this final design is. He's touted it out for a while now that it's not the final design. The final design is going to look a lot better than what we see. I mean, I do admit, like, the design we got now with the TNT Championship is a little basic. It's very, very plain. Kind of looks like a 15-year-old created it on his, like, Windows computer. It's just, it's there's nothing to it. I imagine the gold plates and everything that's going to be added to it's going to look a lot better. So I can't wait to see that. Can't wait.
So MJF Scarf said that MJF is not on the AEP banner. He feels personally attacked.
Oh, up on there. I mean, I could try to add him. I'll do my best. You know what? MJF Scarf, look out for next week. I'll see what I can do.
You should pull a old school badass podcast and put like a GIF of
Of him?
MJF on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I know. I know Instagram's like full of those gifts. Maybe I can pull one from there.
There you go.
Anywho, Rihu. Next bit of news has to do with Cody Rhodes as well. He shares an estimate announcement about the additional AEW programming, meaning the second show that we know that has been signed on for TNT. So it's going to be shown on TNT. Currently, right now, AEW is airing, obviously, Dynamite, which is their flagship show, with Dark, a 1-hour show on YouTube.
Yeah.
Having a new show that is a 1-hour format is something that AEW President Tony Khan has discussed while appearing on Eric Bischoff's podcast. Cody Rhodes did an interview with ESPN where he was asked about the latest on the AEW broadcast schedule, where their third hour, is there going to be a third hour or will there be a second show? Cody Rhodes said, I think probably in 4 to 6 weeks I'll have a firmer answer on that. That's still very much the case. The format of the show might be different. It might rely on the production we have in place already. It might not. I know we've got all kinds of different plans covering on what we want. The goal of the third hour would be to showcase a different crop of talent from AEW. It's very hard when you have this much talent and you have only a single weekly show. It's hard to keep people in the mix. As a wrestler, it's even hard to train for. The only way to train for wrestling is still wrestling. It's just been an adjustment even without the pandemic. So I have an idea that I just thought of about that. So you kind of seen in that first paragraph what he was saying. I think the third hour, which is going to be kind of like another show in itself on TNT, it's going to be, I think when the pandemic's done, it's all going to be taped from that stage in Daly's place.
Right.
I think they're going to use that as like, because Tony Khan owns that place. I think maybe they use that as the second hour or the third hour is the show.
Well, didn't we say that was gonna probably wind up happening? That we said this even like way before AEW was like on TV.
Mm-hmm.
That we knew
I
about
think
this.
so.
That they were like, okay, maybe that they should be using this on the regular, and it's we don't know when we're gonna have fans again. So I definitely see that.
Because it says in the first paragraph, it might rely on the production we have in place already. Whatever that means.
Too, because a lot of the rosters can't even come. There's so much on the roster that we haven't even seen because they're like trapped, and it sucks. Like we talk about Jack Evans and then Helico, and it's
Sadie Gibbs.
Bea Priestley,
there are a lot of stars that are still stuck right now. Pac,
it sucks. So we could just hope for what we get for. So, but I've been stoked. I mean, I was going to talk this a little bit about when we got into the whole Warhorse and Cody match, but I love the fact that me being Queen of the Indies, like I'm loving the fact that they are giving the opportunity to independent talent, right? And then I will sit here and always talk about it, that AEW, to me personally, it feels like a glorified indie scene, right? It's just an indie scene with a lot more money and a lot more budget. So it's just nice to see that, and especially like the last 2 weeks more personally on my end, because here was like I've seen Warhorse. I just saw Warhorse a couple of weeks ago in person at Synergy Wrestling, and I've seen him before. Same thing with Eddie Kingston. Here's somebody that I've followed also in ICW. So me personally as an indie fan, I'm loving it, and it's so explosive for the independent scene. So I think it's
pun intended.
Yes. So.
And last bit of news, AEW World Tag Team Championship, AEW Women's Tag Team Tournament. Sorry, Tag Team Championship. Apparently will not be airing on Dynamite episodes on TNT.
All right. Let's sound off about this, because I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm a little salty. Just for the record, guys, I might be on rant mode again, and I don't like doing rant mode, but like I feel episode today is going to be rant mode. But I'm really salty about this because, again, we're not getting enough women talent on TV, right? We're getting 5-minute spots on TV with the women, and again, we have a lot of injuries going on as well. Why is this going on YouTube? Why? I get it. Okay, you're going to try to grow your YouTube channel, but this should be on Dynamite. Our finals should be at All Out, right?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
Let's hope it's just a rumor, because the rumor is it's saying it's going to be on YouTube exclusive, because this Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern on AEW's YouTube is the drawing for all the tag teams in it. So people are putting 2 and 2 together, saying that maybe Dark is going to be cut in half, and we're going to get half Dark, half the women's tournament on Tuesdays now. So, or maybe Monday is just going to be, Mondays we're going to have to tune in for women's tag team tag team tournament, and we'll have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday a week for AEW stuff. So yeah, I do see where you come from. I think they could have kind of split Dynamite in half. I think they kind of shot themselves in their own foot in a way, because they have so many storylines going on right now that it's so hard to fit everything on 2 hours.
It's weird, right? And you don't want to like overcompensate too, right?
Yeah.
Like I can look at it like that too. Like sometimes, like this was something that you and me used to complain about with like WWE, right? Like, and a lot of people complained about it was too many hours, right? Like 5 hours for a pay-per-view is a lot, plus the pre-show. It's a lot. It's exhausting. Even me personally going back-to-back shows within a weekend, it is very mentally exhausting to watch that much wrestling. So maybe that also plays a part of it as well. But again, like I said, I just feel like this is a kind of huge thing for AEW. It really should be on Dynamite.
Yeah, I hope so.
And it could be a build. And I feel like this could have been like the finals. I mean, I'm really curious with you guys. Guys in the chat, let me know what you're thinking about this tournament. I'd really love to know. And if you guys are watching this later, leave your comments below, because I'm really curious what you guys think. So me personally, like, I can see something like this the final should be at All Out. It should be maybe once a week on Dynamite. Should it be on YouTube? I'm not happy about it, but I mean, I'm going to watch it.
Maybe it'll be half and half. You know what I mean? Maybe it'll be half on YouTube, and like maybe the quarter or even just semifinal and finals. Like the semifinal could be on the Go Home show for Dynamite, and then the finals at All Out. Maybe they'll do both. Maybe I'm hoping, because I did see a lot of backlash from them. Like the rumor being announced as it could not be on Dynamite and be on YouTube, And from the trend of AEW listening to their fans, I imagine that if it is just going to be on YouTube, they might change that a little bit. So hopefully they do change it. I do think the women should be given a shot. It's just it's going to be tough the way they're doing the tournament because it's going to feature a lot of people that, you know, probably should get the TV time, but in a way, we've seen how they've introduced these indie talents and new talent on Dark first, and that's just a YouTube show.
Right.
So it's kind of not fair to them that they were introduced on the YouTube show, and then these women are automatically going to go right to TV.
It isn't. And again, like I said, I understanding that 2 hours is a lot to fit a lot of your roster on. They do have a huge roster. So, and me, like I always say, I get bent, you know, because I'm always going to favor and I'm biased for my independent team.
The queen has spoken.
But again, right? Like AEW came off like, oh, we're gonna like this is all about tag team wrestling and this is you know, the alternative and so I get a little salty, but I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like I love the product, like I'm not bashing the product and like I love it and I'm gonna continue to do it. I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna be a little bit biased and I don't know, like tag team wrestling, like this was something I thought like, oh, this is different, this is exciting, and then you put it on YouTube. Like, why?
You gotta love the YouTube. We're on YouTube.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. Watch us.
But anyways, they did release the rules for this tournament. They did like a screenshot on Dynamite this week. Yeah. And it's the deadly draw rules. So now we know the deadly draw refers to them drawing random partners. That's what's so deadly about it. Yeah. The tournament is a random draw. All competitors must draw a color. Matching colors will become a team, and selections are final and cannot be appealed. So if someone doesn't like their team, that's too bad. It's too bad. If someone gets paired to Abaddon, you can't complain. Weird?
It's oh god.
She scares me.
It's a little weird. So like in reality, we talked about this the last couple of weeks, right? That like Evilise and Demonte should be a tag team. Then we thought Ali and Brandy were gonna be a tag team. So this isn't gonna happen. So or is it gonna be fixed that there really are gonna be like a tag team that they're gonna pick the same colors? So
I think everyone's gonna be random, and then Ali and Brandy are going to quote unquote be put together somehow. I think it's going to be a cheat way. I think it's something's going to be fixed. I have a sense that something's going to be like storyline fixed. You know what I mean? Like Ali rigged it or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Or I don't. I don't even know. I'm kind of confused with last night. So,
I don't even know.
I don't even know. I'm confused. Like, okay, I'm gonna go back and sip my.
Just throw everyone out there. We'll see what happens.
All right. So Conrad asked the chat. Let's already go for it because I feel like this episode is going to be all over the place. So how do we feel about Nyla's first partner? For when she walked in, right, like on the side, and you couldn't really tell who it was, and I'm like, that looks like I got that flashback to Total Divas. Yeah, I watched that.
Seriously, not gonna lie, I actually thought it was Naomi at first. I'm like, whoa, she jumped ship.
No, I knew it was Naomi. I knew it was her, and then I was like, what? Why? Like, wait, all right, let's sit here.
But it does play to the random draw. It's random. I think we can't forget that Nyla didn't pick her. Okay, I'm salty because I love my AEW. Okay, how many WWE talent are you going to ship over? But again, I'm biased. I don't think she's signed.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, I don't like it. It's just grow damn AEW. I'm always gonna be the fan for the I
don't even call her WWE talent because
there's so many women out there that deserve a freaking shot at this in the independent scene. Let's talk about the people that I've had on the pot under the ropes. Casey Catal, Bam Bam, Karen Bam Bam, Valentina. Okay, I've already had like 3 chicks on the podcast that would be amazing to be in this tournament. There's so many women out there, and this is who you pick for why?
There's more to come, okay? But you saw Nyla's and Vicky's face. They were like, what? Like, I don't think they're going to get along. I think this was done on purpose, and this might be just Carmen, I guess I can call her Ariane's 15 minutes of fame.
About it. Like, Conrad said WWE was the big dog for 18. Yes, for 18 years. Yes, I get that. And they set the ball. I get it. But you're supposed to be the alternative. So I'm salty. Build your damn independent stars and make new stars.
Yeah, but they can't just rely on that, Tiff. I understand what you're saying from, but if they just rely on indies, they're going to be just known. I don't think they want to be just known as that. Like, there are some stars in WWE that they could make into bigger stars because they know the talent's there, but WWE won't use the talent. So why is everyone shitting on AEW for taking someone and trying to build a star out of someone that didn't work in WWE? They shouldn't be always criticized for that.
Like I said, I see it both sides. I really, really do. I get the business.
I think it's your
side.
indiness inside is just pushing you over the edge.
That's what it is. I'm biased. I'm sorry. I'm biased. I'm for the independent scene. I'm sorry. There's a reason why I have the nickname Queen of the Indies. I am biased. So, oh God, no, Conrad, stop.
I don't like the argument of people saying like, oh, they were crap in WWE and then they're automatically going to be crap here. We don't know that.
Well, what
we see on TV in WWE is how they wanted that person to look. We don't know their talent behind them. We've seen it before that some people that have left WWE and gone into other things, not necessarily AEW, but other things, and they've been better, and we see a different side of them.
Well,
I don't think we can judge former WWE talent on what we've seen on TV over there.
There's one thing that I have said that when we started reviewing AEW, right? When we started this podcast, right? I said I was coming into AEW with an open mind.
Yeah.
I was not thinking, and that has completely changed my mindset. I'm down for death matches. I'm down for comedy wrestling. Like, maybe the old school me wouldn't have liked all that, but I'm very open-minded, and I am very open-minded to have some of these WWE guys come in and shine. It can happen. Brody, I really, really enjoy.
Prime example,
the
right
best
there.
on the mic. I really do. I'm like, this is a rant episode. I'm sorry.
But in saying all this, I don't think, Ariane, I'm not actually on board with, to be real.
Right.
Let's just get that straight. I did not think that was a good idea. I didn't see any potential out of her in WWE. Even remember in Tough Enough, that one infamous video will always shine in my head of Stone Cold asking him what's the greatest women's match you've ever seen, and the answer, I forget the answer she gave, but it was really bad, and he's just like what are you doing?
Yo, Brian's in the chat being a troll. Stop it, Brian. He goes Ginger to AEW. Stop.
Anyways, the trophy looks like this. It's a beautiful trophy for whoever wins this random tag team tournament. I think it's a nice trophy. I like these tournaments. I'm all about tournaments, as you guys know. And yeah, that's that.
It's pretty. It's so wait. So when Brandy and Allie win this,
maybe. Well, I don't know.
I'm just thinking crazy thoughts because I really don't think they're gonna win this. But if they do win this, that's where the turn sets up, where Allie hits Brandy with it,
with
or
the
something,
trophy, oh boy,
or that she just takes it for Brandy and this is
hurt.
I won it or whatever. Did you see their TikToks with Sunny Kiss?
No. Oh wait, I did see that.
She was in the background and she's got no rhythm, trying to keep up.
Sunny Kiss is just an expert at everybody there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's we're everything's starting next week. The drawing for the women's tag team championship. A lot of good matches on Dynamite announced for next week. John Moxley is going to be facing off against Darby Allin for the World Championship. That's sure to be a really sweet match. They're a really good team this week, and now it's going to be an epic match against each other for the world title. MJF will have an update on his campaign, which was great this week, which we'll get into. We have. Speaking of big matches, we have another huge tag team match next week. We have a 12-man tag team match next week. FTR and the Elite.
10 wasn't enough.
Yeah, FTR and Elite versus all of the Dark Order, basically.
10's not enough. Seriously.
And then I'm looking forward to this, the AEW Super Wednesday debate between Chris Jericho and Orange. I'm curious to see what Orange Cassidy has to say or, give a reaction to. And there's going to be a special guest moderator.
Wait, I have a question. Why is in this graphic? Why is it Jericho with the white orange?
Yeah, I know. Where's his coat? Where's that orange jacket?
It should really be the blazer with the white, since he keeps saying that Orange Cassidy is going to pay him $7,000 for this.
Right?
So I feel personally attacked. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love that blazer at Jericho, but come on, man.
I agree. No, I agree. And then last but not least, as we saw, Matt Cardona saving Cody Rhodes in the TNT Championship at the end there. They'll be facing off against Alex Reynolds and John Silver. So literally every member of the Dark Order will have a match next week on Dynamite. So this will be an interesting match for sure next week.
Maria just broke me and wrote, "Hey, watching Dynamite, no spoilers, okay?" And then she put the cracking up emoji.
Oh boy.
Love you,
You should have
Maria.
tuned in there. I kind of just spoiled one for you.
Sorry,
Maria.
She's in our Facebook chat.
Anywho.
Guys, share the streams, man. So, anywho.
Let's quickly just go over Being the Elite and Dark before we get into Dynamite. Being the Elite this week, 214. Hilarious episode. My favorite parts were the best friends and Brandon Cutler thing right at the beginning where, this has been a thing. Best friends have been trying to make a skit for the show.
Yeah.
This week was coming up with ways to kill Brandon and the smoke screen and then Orange Cassidy just turtles.
Yeah. I love it.
This week's Spanglish word was tiki tiki.
Yo, I was
taki
dying
taki or
because-
tiki tiki. I think it was taki taki. Oh, which one was that? I don't remember. Is it tiki tiki or taki taki? Oh god, I just broke Tiff. I apologize.
Tiki.
Tiki tiki. Okay, so they brought in Hager to say it, and his wife called. His wife calls him on the cell phone and sends Dasha in to pull him away. So that was pretty funny. Whole Colt and Nakazawa thing was funny. Like Colt thought he didn't speak English. And said he will fuck you up. Oh, oops. YouTube just demonetized us. What? Hopefully they didn't hear me say that. I said folk. Like folk music. Knock goes in there and like says like, "Oh no, don't worry, Kenny. No one was out there. No one was out there." And Kenny's still trying to act friendly. So that's interesting. Brandon and Peter trying to get on the right page here, trying not to cheat. Brandon, bring it up. Basically what we've been saying, like when they win, it's gonna mean something. And now they have a tag team name called The Initiative. So that's a weird name. Matt Hardy or Big Money Matt Hardy and Kazarian. So Kazarian's back to normal. He's back to his do ya. So that's good.
That
to
was
see.
really fun. Yeah, I missed the do ya.
I didn't miss it. I'm glad it's back.
Yeah.
Matt Jackson and the 50 seconds for 50 plus demo thing.
Oh my god, can we stop? Like,
So if you've guys seen when they first showed it, like Matt was like, quote unquote on the phone. And there was a picture of what was the Google searches on his phone. I actually screen grabbed it, thank God, because I wanted to read the searches. I have it here. Let me just pull it up for you guys. But yeah, he was quote unquote on the phone, even though he really wasn't on the phone like they usually do in BT. The Google searches were, "Why did the Good Brothers screw me over? Has Canada been destroyed enough? Why don't old people like dives? My forehead looks like New Jack's." And who gat about four horsemen?
oh, man.
I don't know what who gat. I think it meant to say who are, but it said who gat or who got about four horsemen.
I can't. I'm dead.
Or like the New Jack one was hilarious though. Like my forehead looks like New Jack's. Brody Lee's still pissed off. He's so stressed. He's as stressed as Tiffany right now.
Yeah.
He tells Reynolds and Silver to kick out Griff Garrison, but like the guy Silver could not hold it in. You can see he was laughing and he's trying not to. He couldn't hold it together. He's dying at Brody Lee being pissed off. And then he tried to hit Uno with papers with the football helmet on. Oh, that stuff's great. And then the Hangman at the end, becoming more buddies with FTR. I don't know. Something's going on because it's transitioned to Dynamite, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
And I love how he just ditched Brandon at the end. They're like, no, Brandon, you can't come.
Yes. Everybody
stay.
say, who the F is Griff Garrison in the chat?
And then like Joey Janela walks in. I don't think he was part of the skit. And Brandon's like, "Oh hey Joey," and he's pretending he's on the phone with his mom. "Oh hey, hey mom."
I thought that was funny. Hey, did you feel personally attacked with the cult cam?
The cult cam.
You didn't see the cult cam during the BTE?
I saw the Nick cam.
No, there was cult cam too.
Oh. Well, the Nick Cam made sense because Cutler was in the ring, so I couldn't be mad about that.
Yeah.
But Colt Cam, I didn't see that. I missed that. I'm offended. I'm offended. I'm going to go complain on social media.
All right, go do that. Hashtag.
Nah, not happening. Dark was pretty good, too. I mean, the Initiative made their debut, but they had to face FTR. I mean, I'm like, okay, that's kind of sucks. But Tully was scouting, so they're still involving him in some way. Joey and Sonny have a new theme, which is pretty cool. They faced off against Nakazawa and Pineapple Pete in a hilarious match. Abaddon had a match, still scares me. Like, literally, I get nightmares after watching Abaddon. Like, she just scares the hell out of me. Nice new T-shirt, though. There was a very, very good Sean Spears promo, very intense. That was very, very well done. Wardlow won by knockout in his match. Orange Cassidy got another match. We've seen a lot more Orange Cassidy lately, so I'm loving that we're finally getting him on a regular basis. And I actually read some news about that. Tony Khan has actually received word from the network and the high execs at AEW saying they're very, very, very impressed with Orange Cassidy, and the network absolutely loves what he's about, so he's going to be on TV a lot more than we're used to for sure.
Good. I need I need more husbands on TV. Yes. I'm all for it.
Hey, I mean, with one husband on TV, Orange Cassidy, the other one follows his best friend, Trent Beretta. So it's a double take there. It's a double win.
I love it. I do. I love it.
And you get a W, and you get a W.
Oh, yes.
Matt Hardy in Private Party segment was pretty funny. So Matt looks like he can't really control his personalities. Like every day, there's like a different one that comes out. Either Damascus or his regular Matt Hardy or Big Money Matt or like Spot Monkey Matt. He just can't control it. He's just he's living all his personalities, and I think that's what he wants to do. He wants to be able to be that person that just has multiple personality disorder, and he just can't control them. And they come out whenever they come out. So I think that's what he's all about. And I knew I've seen a lot of confusion out of people, and I'm like, that's just him. That's his character. He has multiple personalities. Yeah.
Last week's BTE was funny with it too. And David said in the chat, we need a full BTE episode of only the Dark Order. I'm definitely down for it. I mean, we had the one with the Inner Circle.
Being the Dark Order, yeah.
I feel like that's like probably one of the most over skits going on right now in BTE is
it's
the whole
great.
Dark Order. So I love that we were we're all like kind of behind Dark Order now.
And it's transitioning to Dynamite, too. We've seen the whole paper thing transition to Dynamite finally this week. So that was funny. But Dark had a really good triple threat tag team match. It was SVU, your boys' Private Party, or our boys, I guess, and then Proud and Powerful. They had a really, really solid main event with Proud and Powerful cheating to win the match.
Yes.
As for Dynamite, I thought it was a solid episode. A solid flowing episode. Me and Tiff agree on this part. The opening kind of was a little bit too much. I think we both feel that. I think your opening match should be the trendsetter for the show. You need a match to come out there and set the tone as well. You need to have a match that's gonna be okay. Like this is gonna be a really good show. This was good. Like we have two really good teams, but there's just too much going on, and you can tell too much was going on because Luchasaurus mask almost came off.
Yeah,
like we almost saw his real face on TV.
And and I know Brad's in the chat, and I kind of feel like where Brad, like one of his pet peeves is he hates when people are just like hanging around.
There was a lot of that. There was a lot of that. Yeah.
Much last night. So for instance, this match last night, I wasn't my favorite at all. It was too much going on, and there was too much of that last night, which made me like, that I
we're not like. Don't get us wrong, guys. We're not shitting on the product. We just think that they need to tone it down a little bit on the multi-man tag team matches. Like anything above 3 should be kind of toned down a little bit. Stick to the 2-on-2. I think that's where your gold is, especially
or
3-on-3. Yeah, they can do it right.
Yeah.
Anything above
I get
that.
it. I don't know. I think it also depends of like who, but I just feel like with this, it was just way too much going on, and it's kind of hard. Like how do me and Kyle sit here and review it?
It's got to be a once in a while thing. Once in a while on a pay-per-view, and it's got to mean something. They can't be just randomly thrown in there like next week. Next week, I don't know how are you going to like review that match. We have 12 men next week instead of 10 men, so it's just going to be craziness. And I mean, okay, it wasn't a bad match, but although the other things that we just kind of nitpicked a little bit, which was needed.
Right. No, I still love it. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just something
We did get a further something in storyline though, because Sammy G got distracted by Matt Hardy's, and I guess regular Matt Hardy, and pushed him off the top rope, and that's how the Inner Circle lost. So they took it out to the best friends and friends.
Yeah.
So finally, best friend, the Jurassic Express in a way got a win. You know what I mean?
They did. I mean, it almost cost the face being exposed, even though we all kind of know what he looks like anyway. But I know Kyle definitely know because we saw him in Maryland.
Yeah.
At Full Gear, sitting right next to us.
The jokes, though, the jokes that were going on Twitter about like dinosaurs and faces, I was losing my head. Like I was laughing at all of it. I couldn't pay attention to the screen. I was just reading all of it. It was great.
Yeah.
No Excalibur on commentary this week. They had Taz instead.
I mean, I love Taz.
There was a little bit of backlash going on online. It might have attributed to that. It may not have, but hopefully everything kind of gets sorted out with that. I'm not going to dive too much into it. It's just we don't bring that poison here on this pod. John Moxley cut a very good promo on Dynamite this week. Very, very good promo. Man, he's just so intense, and he's just so good at it. It's great.
Yeah.
Jericho also challenged. This is pretty cool. So, Orange Cassidy. Speaking of the Inner Circle, so Jericho's still wearing his jacket that smells apparently like cat piss.
Oh my God, I was dead. Like that was like the most funniest thing. I'm like, this is the best thing ever. I love Santana.
It kind of smells like cat pee, right? Deanna Ortiz. Cat pee, like, Tony.
And then he's like, ah, and then laughed. I'm like, stop. I'm like, you're so extra. I love it.
But he's challenged Orange Cassidy to a debate. Okay.
What is it going to be about? And who's going to be
the moderator?
You know?
I have no idea.
Be funny if like Dasha or like Aubrey.
Maybe.
I could see Aubrey because like all the heat that goes on with Aubrey and Jericho, and I think it was April that tweeted and said she would be okay with a match with Aubrey versus Jericho.
Okay.
I'm down for that.
And
I like my intergenders.
In 2 weeks, Jericho is going to have a rematch with Orange Cassidy. That's going to be good. I can't wait for that as well.
Right. That's where the win's going to get picked up. I feel like that's where it's going to happen. So I knew he needs this big win. So now that since we're going to get a rematch, this is where I feel like he's going to pick up that win.
Yeah. Cody faced off against Warhorse. It was a very, very anticipated matchup. People were looking forward to this for the TNT Championship. But it's another moment where AEW listens to their fans. They're like people all over Twitter were crying for Cody to just pick Warhorse and finally choose him after all the Twitter jab at him, and he gave him a shot. So I can appreciate AEW giving a shot to and listen to the fans about that. I thought it was a decent match. I thought it would go a little longer. I think we need to see another Warhorse match because I don't think we got.
No, I'm good.
I just don't think we got the whole gist of it. You know what I mean?
Again, I get the whole concept of it, right? He's the IWTV champion, right? Me personally, I'm just gonna say it because I'm just being honest. I'm not the biggest Warhorse fan, and I'm probably gonna get.
Be careful, Tiff.
Not the biggest Warhorse fan. But I understand, again, like I said, he is known in the indie scene. He is the IWTV champion. I get it, right? But I enjoyed Eddie Kingston a hell of a lot more, and maybe because he's a vet.
I just don't think we got enough Warhorse. I don't think we've seen the full thing because
cool.
It was a short match.
It was nice, again, for all the people that enjoy the indies like I do. It's a huge step, right? I think this is huge, and it's to get over more indie talent. I'm going to be biased about it, but I just feel like there's a lot of other people that me personally would have loved to see before Warhorse. But I get it because he's the IWTV champion.
Yeah.
So sorry, guys. Brad probably hates me with it, but I just don't see it with Warhorse. I'm sorry.
Other than that, Cody was showing more aggression in the match. I found he's showing a lot more heel-like tendencies in the ring, where he's showing off, and he's even Arn Anderson's telling him you got to stop that. You got to go back to what you're good at, and Cody's kind of been losing sight lately a little bit.
by the way, I don't know if you saw this tweet too. Like, if you follow Dan Housing, he was putting out, there was a video that went out on Twitter yesterday that he tweeted that he was on the phone with Warhorse telling him to kick Arn Anderson in the groin. So even during the match, that's when Dan Housing was tweeting. He was like, okay, Warhorse, this is the time for you to kick Arn in the groin. So I was losing my crap with that as well. So, but that was, I felt like that was kind of like really important, but
decent match. And then Reynolds and Silver, this is the big moment here. So Reynolds and Silver come out and jump Cody, and Cody's best friend Matt Cardona makes his AEW debut and comes out for the save. And does he ever look yoked? My Lord, is he huge. He gains so much more muscle, man. That guy looks good. So good for him. Now this, again, with any WWE, we just talking about any WWE talent that comes over, there's always going to be a split fence with people's reactions to it. I'm for it. If they can do something good with him, good. Do it. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, you move on. At least you tried. Can't just sit there and say you didn't try. So I'm all for them giving him a chance and seeing what he's all about. If it's good enough for the company and he does a good job, good. We just gained another piece of talent. If it doesn't, you move on. You move on.
We all knew, and I'm kind of glad in a way that we didn't get him to come out to face Cody.
Yeah.
Right away. So I'm kind of glad in that sense. And again, like I said, we all knew this was happening, that, this was going to happen. But I don't know. We're going to see. Like I said, I give everything a chance. So we'll see what happens. And I hope it's done right. And I hope, there's a lot of people that I felt like came on that I wasn't a huge fan of. And as time progressed, I became a fan of. So, and I feel like AEW does something right that I can become a fan of. Like, I was not huge on Dean Ambrose back then, but I'm a huge John Moxley fan now. So AEW is doing something right. Yeah. So I'm excited to see like where we're gonna go with this.
So Dark Order, Uno and Grayson actually got their title shot that they actually were supposed to get before COVID-19 happened, and they were both in lockdown. So they kind of brought that back. So I kind of appreciate them not forgetting about that. And they faced off against Kenny and Hangman for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Colt was on commentary. I love Anna Jay's new look. Love her like in that like Dark Order getup. She looks really good and it fits her. So
I like it. I'm down for it. I love it. I think she put it as her profile, like the banner.
Oh, that's good.
Like the eyes with the mask. I thought that was pretty cool. So I like the the little difference because she's a chick. So I love it.
It's good that we have like a woman aspect to it too. I kind of appreciate that.
We should. It gives it something.
So remember Hangman's nameplate last week about the white tape. This week was didn't like the white wrist tape. Last week he was trying out white wrist tape, didn't like it. So I'm loving these Hangman nameplate updates. But Hangman ended up jumping the gun like as Kenny was making his entrance. And Kenny kind of like walks to the ring like, what are you doing? Like, why are you jumping before I even made my entrance? So there's a little friction between Hangman and Kenny a little bit. So it's gaining more momentum. So we're seeing more and more like Kenny and Hangman not being on the same page. It went with what Brody Lee did after he was pissed off and threw the papers at Uno's head again. Poor Uno, man. Guy's gonna get a concussion from the papers eventually.
Is that a shirt yet? Because it should be a shirt. The papers or something.
Why
like,
isn't that a shirt?
Crumbled up like paper and like with a hand holding it. Like I feel like that should be a shirt. Like,
or a hat with like a picture of papers on it.
Yeah, like I feel like that should be a shirt.
Yeah. So Brody then he seen the friction between those two and he started creating more friction. He was like calling out Kenny. He was like, "Thanks for coming out, Kenny." And we see how gingerly you came to the ring, and you know what I mean. He's creating more friction between Hangman and Kenny to try to get Hangman to come join the Dark Order, creating that friction with Kenny and his buddies more because he saw the friction that was happening before. So it's smart. I love that tactic that Brody's using. So he said they have strength in numbers, and then more of the Tiff's favorite people, the Creepers, came out of nowhere.
Like real life.
And surrounded the ring. And then FTR came out for the save with that styrofoam cooler again. That spot gets me every time. It just smashes. And it goes everywhere. I mean, it goes everywhere.
Yeah.
And, so FTR came out for the save, and now that led to what we're getting next week. But interesting note here with FTR and Hangman. There's a very, very interesting note because we saw it. We had a segment, a backstage segment. Now, This is different. This could be storyline contract signing, or this could be the real storyline, or this could be the real contract signing. But they did a contract signing for FTR to make them official with AEW. But if you listen,
tweets, right?
yeah, if you listen though, there was a lot of contract. They had a lot of stuff put into their contract that needs to be fulfilled by AEW. I think that's a way to like eventually like that's how they leave. They say AEW goes back on their contract and allows them to leave. You know what I mean? But the most interesting thing here is Hangman came in and Arn Anderson was their manager.
Right.
More 4 Horsemen teasing going on here. So it's interesting.
It's happening, guys.
I'm loving it. And I see a lot of people are really positive and can get behind it. So if they're going to do another 4 Horsemen and you're going to include like Tully and Arn Anderson, the original 4 Horsemen members in it, I'm all for it. It's just a shame because I wish Ric Flair was here to kind of complete it a little bit because I know he's tied into his Legends contract. You don't shake your head. It's true. He was part of the 4 Horsemen. It would complete it, and it would be like a good endorsement from almost all the members of the 4 Horsemen, passing the torch along to these guys. I think it would be good. That's just me. Britt Baker, though. Gotta talk about her real quick. She had a very small part on AEW Dynamite this week. Not as big as she has been. But she says that Big Swole, she's going to pick an opponent for Big Swole. And if she beats that opponent of her choosing, Big Swole will earn a shot against Britt Baker. And that's assuming it all out.
So who is it, guys?
I saw a lot of Abaddon. I'm like, Abaddon's gaining momentum. She can't really take an L right away. Like they're kind of building her. So I don't know.
Is it Reba? Is it Reba? That's what
maybe it is Reba.
Like, I really think it's Reba. I really do. I mean, she is a wrestler, like Red Bull, but Reba. I'm always gonna say Reba because of AEW. But I definitely
maybe Diamante. You gotta think of like women who are like on like kind of not on the rise here, but could take an L.
I just really think it's gonna be Reba. I really don't think it's gonna be anybody
that
else.
Would be hilarious. Like Reba just gets all like Britt Baker's gonna announce the partner, and then she says it's Reba, and Reba just looks confused, going, "Wait, what?"
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be funny. I think it might be Reba. You know what? I think I'm going with your pick there.
Yeah. So it just makes sense.
Yeah.
And then they'll introduce her like into wrestling, right? Like, because a lot of people did not know, like you didn't know that she wrestled before. So it would be good for people that do not know to see that. So I feel like that's where you're gonna get that loss. But I think you're right. I think it's gonna be like that she didn't know. That she was going to be the pick. And
she'll be in normal clothes, too. Like, it's going to be a squash.
Yeah.
But speaking of Diamante, she faced off against my girl, Hikaru Shida. Very good promo they did a very good vignette for Diamante before, showing, I think they're showing a lot of promise that they have in this girl and wanting to build her up. I know she took the L in this match, but it was a decent match. It kind of seemed a bit off. They were late on a lot of spots. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, though. It was a decent match. I'm not going to be too critical, but it did seem a bit off. And Shida ended up picking up the win. But I'm glad we're showing more interest and more women in building for that women's division.
They got a little more time than they did last week.
Yeah. So, and I love the vignette they did. Like, again, we've been preaching that. So it's almost like they're listening to us, Tiff.
It's good because it gets us behind, the new people. Like, we get to understand who they were. So I love the whole thing about her telling her story about the Cuban diamond and, the pressure, means diamonds and all this. So I love the little backstories it gives us to make us care about these characters if you're unknown to them.
Right. And then the best part,
Brad wants us to be critical.
Brad, we are a positive podcast. You want critical podcasts? There are some out there for you to listen to. You've picked the wrong podcast for that. We got to be different. We can't be like all the other podcasts out there. Can't be sitting here and talking about Dynamite. Oh, that was a very did not like that wrestling move from that person. AEW Dynamite was a decent episode this week, Tiffany. It was. It showed a lot of good promise this week. Like, I don't want to come on here and sound like that for an hour.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, anywho.
Okay.
Let's talk about the best part of Dynamite in my eyes. I thought
Okay,
this is probably the greatest part ever. MJF's State of Wrestling address. This was perfect. This was so good. It was a very good promo. The guy is the king of promos, man. It was very, very well done. He's good when he starts getting like more serious in his promos. Like not when he's making fun of, the quote unquote marks and stuff. When that's good and it's funny. But when he's like intense and he's really into his promo, that's where the star comes out of MJF.
Right.
And he calls out Jon Moxley and he challenges him at All Out for the AEW World Championship, and he's starting his campaign to be the next AEW World Champion. He comes out in like a Donald Trump suit, which caught me, and he's like waving like a president candidate. But I'm pumped for this, man. MJF against Jon Moxley, I'm all for it, man. And it's going to be at All Out. Cannot wait for that. Cannot wait.
I told you, right? What did I be? Me and Conrad have been preaching this for what, months? We've been preaching it that it was going to be MJF and Mox.
Man, it stinks though, because I kind of see MJF win at this point right now. I kind of see MJF winning, and that kind of sucks for Jon Moxley because he's basically been the COVID champion. He hasn't been able to hold that title and defend it and been on Dynamite with a crowd. You know what I mean? He's gonna be his champion. His first AEW World Championship is gonna be an asterisk if they choose to switch the titles to to MJF. So, and I have a funny feeling that they might.
By the way, because I forgot to read this in the chat earlier, but Ray made a joke that Mike Tyson's going to be the moderator for.
Oh no! I hope not.
I still
hope not.
Sit here and think that Mike Tyson and Jericho are going to be all.
I hope they scrap that. I hope they seen how much of a mess that was and just said, "Yeah, we're going to move on."
I really still believe that. I'm still in my heart going to be like,
I don't think so.
Not that I want to see it.
He's
because
boxing now.
I don't, but I don't know why. Like, I feel like we're still going to get this. I don't want it.
To the day I die, I will not believe in Chris Jericho versus Mike Tyson in a wrestling match. Not happening.
Why not?
No. Anywho, we're going to move on, Rihu. Main event time.
Okay.
So speaking of really good promos, I mean, Darby Allin didn't come out at first, which was weird, and then Moxie came out. But then speaking of good promos, Starks, Taz, and Cage were seen like kind of backstage, kind of like outside the tunnel. But Taz and Starks cut a very, very good promo. Even Starks, man, like that kid's got promise in his promo game if he brings that to the table each time. And I'm loving that he's teaming up with, I guess you can call them Team Taz so far. And I think it's a very good pairing. Taz has the muscle, the beast, the giant, the FTW champion, and he's got the young up-and-coming Starks, who's good at promos, and he's a very good-looking guy.
That promo, though,
it was good.
I got freaking chills last night with his promo, like legit goosebumps. I'm like, damn, I felt that. Like, he's so good on the mic.
So they found a gem in Starks, man.
Yeah, they really did. I'm so excited.
But they also have a gem in Darby Allin, who, as Starks and Cage are making their entrance, dude literally coughing. Like, he has no regards for his body. This guy just not cleared, don't care. He does a coffin drop from the stage.
Skinny little dude.
He just coffin drops from the top of the stage.
Oh my god!
Like it's nothing.
So good.
Yo, his new tattoo though.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Like the thing goes the top of his shoulder down his arm. That's really well done. And they finally start the match, and man, are Darby Allin and Jon Moxley the team we didn't know we wanted, man. Those two together are insane. This basically turned into a hardcore match. Just like weapons and shit just came out of nowhere. And hardcore match.
I'm loving thumbtacks.
On a skateboard.
It will be my light tubes of AEW.
Oh man.
Thumbtacks.
I think those ripped his back. I think those landed hard on Starks' back, and I think they ripped because the blood was coming out profusely out of his back.
Let me throw you into some thumbtacks and you tell me something else.
Well, I mean, when we've seen thumbtack spots, like last week too, with like Cody, right?
I was serious. Bleeding.
But we saw that. But I think that some of the tacks, because the way he landed on his skateboard, I think it ripped his skin sideways, meaning it ripped his skin down, and more blood was able to pump out. Because he was in pain. Like he couldn't even get his back down for the pin. Like he was such in pain.
I really got some CZW vibes last night, but oh man, I guess thumbtacks is gonna be my light tubes of AEW. Like I'm all for this.
All
so-
for the tax, eh?
Yes, I'm for the thumbtacks. Let's go. I want some more.
It didn't look like it was a sudden impact. It dragged and
Yeah.
it scratched down. Oh, like it made me cringe a little bit.
Yeah.
And man,
Hey,
good for
I
Ricky
give him a-
Starks.
I
Like what? Like 4 weeks into AEW and you're already getting you're getting the thumbtack spot across the back.
I love it. I love it. Give me more.
Yeah, and then we had the stare
Damn, I'm
down.
violent.
We had the stare down with Mox and Darby Allin. So and we're
Hey,
getting that match
again,
next week.
You want to see the pre-match of that? Like go to freaking Northeast Wrestling and go watch
Yep.
that for the first time when that Moxley put Darby over. Like I think it's on YouTube somewhere, but Northeast Wrestling last summer, it was the first time that they wrestled. And he put a speech over Moxley. He said he didn't know who he was, and
Darby
the-
should do that. Darby should do a
he had-
vignette for
his-
next week and include that footage and be
Well,
like,
that's what
I want my
wrestling is
revenge
about.
from this. I want my revenge from what happened here. You know, I'm not going to take you lightly like I did back then.
it's such a good. He got taped up. Moxley like taped him up, and he was going through the ropes, and like wow. You want to see a good match with those two? Definitely go check that match. It was great. I really wish I was there. I think it was in Connecticut. I really wish I went to that, but oh, so good. But yeah, I like these two. I know personally this is going to be a really good match because it was a good match beforehand.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just don't like what AEW did with the rankings. They really screwed themselves up because why is it that he's the 5th ranking? Why is he getting a title shot?
Yeah.
Why? It's not making sense. They need to just get rid of the rankings. I just really like because I just feel like it's not doing anything right now.
It is
So-
weird. Just keep the records. I don't mind the records. The rankings.
Yeah, keep the records, but leave it like the number 5. Like it doesn't make sense to me. But that's that's
It's tough to do rankings when it's a storyline. Like wrestling is a storyline show. You can't have like sports rankings unless the storylines fit with the rankings, which
Yeah.
9 times out
think
of
they
10 they haven't been
tried.
doing. I know they tried. Yeah, they gave it a
They
shot.
tried, and it's all like trial and error, right? So I'm not gonna knock them for it
Yeah.
or whatever. So I just think like like you said, I think that they can keep it, like just to see, but if you're not gonna follow it, so. But I saw something also too. What was it that there was a tweet? I think it was Colin that put it.
Well, they
out.
are kind of following it in a
burying-
way because MJF's number 1. And he's kind of they're kind of setting up that storyline. But when they go to number 2 or 3 or 4 before Darby Allin,
Yeah, that's what I would think, right? It would make sense, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm not creative. I'm not trying to sit here and be creative. I don't know.
you don't want to have a contract.
Weird. No, I'm not too contract Cutler.
And 2 contract Tiff
Oh God, no, I'm stressed out, Tiff. That's what I am. But no.
for now.
But either way, I'm is it okay?
I was content.
Wasn't the favorite. Yeah, look, whatever. It is what it is. We're gonna have hit, we're gonna have miss, right?
Yeah.
Not everything's gonna be perfect. They're still working their kinks out. I was entertained. The time went, fast, especially I feel like the first hour went really, really fast. But I don't know. Again, I'm all for my independent wrestling. So and I'm all for AEW.
Another week, another solid AEW week, and we're into next week with another solid jam-packed show. AEW coming at you each and every single week with jam-packed action. That's why we do a podcast on it. So, guys, make sure you are following this podcast and you're following the network on all social media platforms. You're following the podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as No Holds Barred Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All you got to do, guys, is to follow everything. Is an easier way to get to it, and that is the link tree. Make sure you go over to the No Holds Barred Network's Twitter account at NHB Network, and we have a link tree up there in the profile. You click that, it'll take you wherever you need to go on all our social media outlets. So make sure you're giving us a follow in there to keep up to date with the podcast and the network. And then make sure you are taking us on the go if you like. You can listen to us on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Player FM, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Pocket Cast, and Apple Podcasts. Wherever you are getting your podcasts, you can find the All Elite Podcast. Just make sure you are searching up the No Holds Barred Network, and you will get our podcast and as well as all the other great podcasts on this network. So thank you to everybody who downloaded the episode each and every single week. Thank you to our Apple Podcast listeners as well. Make sure you're giving us a 5-star rating and leaving us a comment of what you think of the podcast on Apple Podcasts. It really does help us with the chartable side of things as well. Make sure you're checking out the No Holds Barred Network's website at www.noholdsbarrednetwork.com to stay up to date with everything No Holds Barred Network, including podcasts and articles as well. Everything is located on that website. And last but not least, thank you very much to Darren of These Wolves for letting us use the song Dead to Me. It is the official theme song of the All Elite podcast. Make sure you're checking out Darren and showing him some love, guys. Follow him on social media. Follow These Wolves on social media and download his music on all your listening platforms like Spotify and Google Play Music or iTunes. Whatever you are finding your music, check it out and follow Darren and show some support.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our boy.
Anywho, Rihu, I think we're winding down. Tiff, you got any last closing remarks here?
Merp.
Merp. Oh, yes. Merp. Merp is right, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, merp, 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 merp. Anywho, I guess some closing remarks, guys. We are working on the network shop, merchandise shop. I'm doing some final tweaks on it, and it'll be re-released, so make sure you go to noholdsbarnetwork.com. The link will be on there for you guys to check it out. I'm going to put that Anywho Rihu design on there for sure. But yeah, it's going to wrap it up, guys, for this episode. Episode 994. We're getting close to 100. Going to be the go-home show for All Out. Will be our 100th episode. Going to get some things planned and brainstorming soon. So thank you for tuning in, guys. If you're watching live on YouTube, Periscope, or Facebook Live, thank you very much for tuning in live, watching it back, or even our on-the-go listeners, thank you for downloading the episode each and every single week. Means the entire world to myself and Tiff. So this has been another episode of All Elite Podcast, your source for all AEW content, right here on the No Holds Barred Network, your wrestling podcast source. Like I already screwed up the outro. Look at that. I'm your host, as always, Kyle Masters, your self-proclaimed greatest host, always joined by my co-host, the EVP Giggles, the Queen of the Indies, the Heartbreak Chick, and the Queen of being stressed out lately. That's Tiffany. Hopefully we'll see you guys next week with a more less stressed out week. Take it easy. Wear your mask. Stay safe out there. We'll see you next time.